What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome to today's video. This is the first video. This is a groundbreaking video. This is the first video that I've recorded in my new house. It's a little bit of a rush. It's very late upload. You know what happens to the YouTube algorithm if you don't upload. And this was a video that I know I could make that wouldn't require a lot of editing, that I could get out in time. And I want to make it ever since they completed the NFL schedule and given updated predictions for the Eagles. But also because I'm rushing, like right now I have no playback. For whatever reason, like I plugged my speakers in the wrong way. So like this is going to be like the most, obviously the content's going to be there, but this, in terms of editing, like usually I try to edit slides and stuff like that. It's not going to work because I won't be able to hear my own playback, my own audio when I'm running it back. So for that, forgive me. But we are here today. First and foremost, the only thing you need to see is the final win-loss record. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing this live. I have no notes. I have nothing. But I feel like coming out of the draft and now knowing the schedule, now more than ever, it's a good time to try and see how we feel about the Philadelphia Eagles this upcoming season. I know a lot of people like me doing these kind of videos for all 32 teams. I don't necessarily know what I'm going to do yet. We need a lot of content to get between now and the beginning of Madden 20. What videos are going to come up? Who knows? But today, let's talk about the Eagles. So we will open up week 1 at 1 o'clock against the Washington Redskins. That is a home game. The Redskins, are they going to emerge with Dwayne Haskins as their starter? My guess is no. They're probably going to have Case Keenum for a couple weeks, and it's going to look somewhat similar to what they did in Cleveland with Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield. So that's most likely going to be a Case Keenum-led Washington Redskins. Case Keenum, he is what he is. Regressed really, really badly last year with the Denver Broncos, but the last time Case Keenum played Philly, in Philly, didn't look so good. You know, he looked really, really bad, and I feel like in full confidence, Philly week 1 is going to body the Redskins. Not much changes in terms of rosters. Going into week 2, we're at Atlanta. That's a very interesting matchup. You know, it's going to be a primetime game, 8 o'clock. Very excited. As someone that lives in Canada, the more primetime games we can get, the better. That's going to be a tough one on the road in Atlanta, but we seem to have, for whatever reason, the Falcons' number as of late. It came down to the wire last year in the opener with Nick Foles as a quarterback, with Carson Wentz recovering from the injury, and we're able to win on like the last play of the game. And then rewind, if you will, to the playoffs before that. We beat the Falcons in the opening round of the playoffs with another great red zone stand. It would actually be nice. For whatever reason, it does feel like Jalen Mills has good games against Atlanta Falcons. We don't really know what his availability is going to be, but it would be nice if he could be back, back out there wagging his finger come week 2. But I actually like the Eagles in that matchup. Just for whatever reason, we match up well against Atlanta Falcons. Julio Jones is going to get probably 210 yards. Hopefully it's a little bit better. Hopefully our secondary is looking a little bit better at this point. But who's going to get a lot of yards? But I think ultimately we're going to stonewall them in the red zone. They're going to struggle in the red zone because Philly arguably has one of the better red zone defenses in the league. I think the Eagles are going to open up with a 2-0 start. Going into week 3, we are at home against the Detroit Lions. It's going to be a tricky game. Detroit Lions are a very interesting team. They now have TJ Hawkinson at tight end. By this time, he's still going to be trying to find his chemistry, I think, with Matt Stafford in the regular season, but he definitely will be a weapon that we need to be accounting for. Mr. Rob Gronkowski 2.0, Midi Gronk, whatever you want to call him. But I still feel like that's a win. I mean, we already opened up 3-0. That's pretty outrageous, but I do feel like that is going to be a win here for the Philadelphia Eagles against the Detroit Lions. Could potentially be more of a challenge than the Atlanta Falcons, but both Falcons and the Lions are fringe playoff teams. Maybe the Falcons are a little bit more of an expected playoff team, so it'll be a competitive game. But I think at home, the Lions on the road, I don't think they travel particularly well. I think Philly's going to open up to a 3-0 start. Then going into week 4, another primetime game at Lambeau against Green Bay. I honestly think this is an Eagle team that's really, really good. I think Eagles can win every single game this season, but would they win? No, they're going to slip up along the way. So we're going to chuck this one up as a loss, going up against Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau. Now, truth be told, this Green Bay Packers roster, so Green Bay at home, L. No matter what way, I'm not even going to try to overthink it. It's an L. Green Bay, it's not your dad's Green Bay. It's not the stacked team. They're a team in transition, but they've spent a lot of money on the defense. You're going to think they're going to be at least a little bit better defensively. Offensively, lots of changing of weapons there. But as long as you have Aaron Rodgers at home where he's most dangerous, I'm just going by the odds here. I'm going to say Philly potentially could slip up in that one. Moving to week 5, we are hosting the Jets. Jets are going to be a Le'Veon Bell, and that's pretty much it. I think this is going to be a win for the Eagles. That's pretty much all I can say. The Jets are just not quite there. Yeah, they got Quinnen Williams. That'll be interesting to see, but Philly's pride and joy is that offensive line, and I don't think the new Williams Wall 2.0 is going to cause us a whole lot of trouble, but it will be interesting to see that matchup take place. But with this dub, Philly is moving to 4-1. Week 6, we're going to Minnesota. I think that this is going to be a very interesting matchup. The Vikings with Kirk Cousins, they're at home. I'm going to say that this is going to be a loss. I don't know why I want to think it's a loss. I think Philly is going to look for a little bit of revenge. We lost to the Vikings last year. That was marred in controversy because the biggest turning point in the game wasn't from anything that Philly did offensively or defensively, or Minnesota did offensively or defensively. The biggest turning point in that game was a horrendous roughing the passer call on Michael Bennett that would have been a 3-0 for the Vikings. They actually were able to get points on that drive. I think it was the last time they scored points, but it was a difference maker nonetheless. Very frustrating. That was before the whole league decided, hey, maybe we shouldn't be calling these, cupcake plays and penalties on the defense, and let's get a little bit tougher, because if that was the case, I think Philly would have won. But we'll just say on the road, Minnesota, Kirk Cousins does know how to play against the Philadelphia Eagles. More often than not, he does have a strong game against the Eagles, so we'll chuck that up as a L. Going into Week 7, we have a primetime game at Dallas. Now, for whatever reason, it feels like Dallas plays better in Philly, and Philly plays better in Dallas. So I'm going to give this a win for the Philadelphia Eagles on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. Am I really worried about the Dallas Cowboys? Look at their draft. I didn't think they had a particularly strong draft. Sure, they got Jason Witten back. He might have, just a very annoying third down conversion, but for the most part, I really do like the way the Philadelphia Eagles match up against the Dallas Cowboys this year. So early Week 7 at Dallas, give me an Eagle win. Going to week number 8, we are at Buffalo Bills. This may be the first of 2 or just the first of 1 game I actually try to attend in real life, because for Canada, pretty much you could just go to Toronto, travel to Buffalo, and go back into Toronto. So you don't actually have to stay in Buffalo. And I actually love this game because Ed Oliver's there, and I'm a huge fan of Ed Oliver. He's the player the Buffalo Bills selected with the 9th overall pick. But ultimately, this is going to be a Philadelphia Eagle win. They do have Sean McDermott, though. Sean McDermott does have some Eagle ties, and though a lot of things have changed, there might be some similarities that he might be able to pick up on that could give them a very, very minimal advantage. But I think ultimately the Philadelphia Eagles are just way too much for the Buffalo Bills. I think more so from a quarterback standpoint. I just don't think the Bills have enough weapons to really scare the Philadelphia Eagles defense. And I look at the offensive line. That Bills offensive line is very much still a work in progress, and Philly's defensive line is top 5 for sure in the league. They're going to push their shit in. Going to week 9, we host the Chicago Bears. I think Philly's going to win that one. That's going to be a close game. The Bears are going to have revenge on their mind after the double doink. But I just think push comes to shove. It's going to be a Jordan Howard revenge game. The Bears are really good. Bears fans know from a neutral standpoint, they were my team to pick to go on and win a bunch of games last year and make the playoffs, and they went on and did that. And I enjoyed watching that. Hell, the Bears, Week 17 last year against the Minnesota Vikings, I cheered as hard for the Bears that game as I did for the Eagles all season long. I like a lot of players on the Bears. Yeah, they're a good team. I still just think they're not as good top to bottom as the Philadelphia Eagles, and they lost a lot this free agency, especially in that secondary. No more Adrian Amos. Bryce Callahan's gone. The offensive line is average. The run game, what's it going to look? Is David Montgomery going to take all the shares that Jordan Howard left? Is it going to be, a combination of him and Mike Davis with a little Tariq Cohen sprinkled in? I just think ultimately the Chicago Bears don't have enough weapons on offense to really bring it to the Eagles. I feel like if the Bears couldn't score a lot of points in the playoffs against the Eagles with our battered secondary, I don't think they're going to do it with a presumed healthy secondary. So give me a win here. So going into the Week 10 bye, the Philadelphia Eagles have a record of 7-2, and then out from that bye, Week 11, we are taking on the New England Patriots. Now, this could potentially be game of 2 of 2 or 1 of 2 that I decide, or 1 of 1 that I try to go to. This game's going to be awesome. It's at the Link. I just think this atmosphere is going to be absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to miss it. I think Philly's going to win this game. I think it's just going to be that epic Nick Foles is not there anymore. That's going to be the storyline. Everyone talks about Nick Foles could beat the Patriots, but could Carson Wentz ever do it? I think this is going to be that showcase. I think this game is going to mean a lot for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be the most intense game all season long. Give me the Eagles to win this game and move to 8-2. Going to Week 12, we play the Seattle Seahawks at home. It's at home, but for whatever reason, this game's in prime time. That's going to be awesome. Russell Wilson dominates the Eagles. I don't know what it is. It's just the the fact that Philadelphia Eagles edge rushers, no matter what happens when they go against a mobile quarterback, they look like Bambi on ice. They just can never wrap up. They can never finish the sack. And Russell Wilson's the guy that always dominates them. And now they got DK Metcalf out there catching the play action pass. Just going with the odds. I think they're going to slip up here and get their third L of the season at home in prime time. And I'll be very, very triggered. There'll probably be a very upsetting video that releases after that. Going into week 13, we're at Miami. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a win. Dolphins are arguably the worst roster in the league. And this is a team now that I feel comfortable in saying that Philadelphia, under Doug Peterson, is going to beat the teams they should beat when we're healthy. I think last year you could chalk it up to injuries. I mean, we can't predict injuries or anything like that, but we're going to assume we're going to be as healthy as humanly possible. And a full-strength Eagles team against a full-strength Dolphins team. Eagles win that more often than not. Going to week 14, we play and actually host the New York Giants. This game is in primetime. Giants, a very ugly roster. For whatever reason, Eli Manning, they do usually have an all right strategy against the Eagles. They have Eli Manning just throw like a one-step drop, it seems like. But in primetime at home, Philly's going to win that game. Week 15, we're at Washington. I almost want to say we could potentially lose this game, but I do feel like the Philadelphia Eagles are just so much better than Washington. And by this point, we might have a Dwayne Haskins starting for the Washington Redskins, and that is just bad news going up against this Eagles front seven. So that's a win for the Eagles. Week 16, we host the Dallas Cowboys. And like I said, Philly always plays better in Dallas, and Dallas always plays better in Philly. So this Week 16 game, give me the Dallas Cowboys winning. It's annoying, but it's the fourth loss of the season for the Eagles. They, for whatever reason, just split it with Dallas every single year. I don't know what it is. And then they finish up Week 17 at the Giants, and this game will go either way. So we can make it 5 losses. They could be 11-5 or 12-4. I hope at this point at New York, this game means nothing. We have the division locked up, and we can start maybe looking at resting our starters. So this is a flex game. If we need to win it, we're gonna win it. So we could go 12-4. But if the division's locked up, which 11 wins might not be enough. But if that is the case, we rest our starters. I can see the Giants going all in, trying to get some morale, some little bit of momentum as they enter the offseason if we're not full strength. And the Giants roll with all their starters. Maybe a Daniel Jones at quarterback by this time. Give me this slight edge to the Giants. But for the record's sake, I'm going to say Philly's going to be playing their asses off here. They're going to get the win and go to 12-4 on the season. Now, I have asked this question on my Discord. I have seen some people tag. It seems like 11, 12 wins is where we have the Eagles at. Obviously, that's very confident. That's a very nice record, and I understand that maybe that's slightly unrealistic. But I definitely think 11 to 12 wins is that spot where Philadelphia should be. It definitely helps that the Redskins and Giants this year are not strong rosters. So for the most, at least at the quarterback spot, they're not strong at the most important spot. Then you also throw in a team like we got the Dolphins. We got the Bills. We got the Jets. It's a very nice schedule for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think if we stay healthy, brand new wood tail, let's knock on that wood. We should have a very favorable record. And let's go 12-4 for the Philadelphia Eagles. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. What do you think Philadelphia is going to finish with their record? Let me know. And as always, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, and hopefully tomorrow, where everything's going to be working nice and beautifully, I got a dope video that you guys are going to love that'll be dropping tomorrow night. It's kind of Madden 20-ish, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And until next time, C4 saying peace out.